Wherever there's a pool, there's always a flirt. Whenever there is school, there'll always be homework. Whenever there's a beat, there's always a drum. Whenever there's fun, there's always Coca-Cola. Yeah. Always Coca-Cola.
Coke has become a popular beverage for many humans for its flavor and energy it provides with caffeine. However, others argue that caffeine is too harmful and addicting for everyday use. But as long as one uses self-discipline in limiting their consumption, they should not be negatively affected, and the positive attributes of Coke trump the negative. What is more important to you, the taste or the dietary considerations?
To me, taste is more important. I'd rather drink a drink such as Mountain Dew than a diet drink. I only will select the diet soft drink if the taste is as good as the or close to the real thing. Otherwise, I'll just drink water or some other non-calorie drink.
A common argument for Diet Coke over Coke is that it uses artificial sweeteners, which gives the same taste but is much healthier. I beg to differ. How do you feel about artificial sweeteners?
I don't really have any feelings about them. I don't use them. They do not enhance the taste for me, and I either use regular sugar or I don't intentionally use them at all.
For those of you that argue that artificial sweeteners have the same taste as normal sugar, saccharin, used in Sweet and Low, is stable for baking but has a noticeable aftertaste when used in large quantities, which you would use in a regular diet soda. Even in an article by the University of Missouri supporting artificial sweeteners, it warns that a small dose of an artificial sweetener can be too sweet compared to the normal sugar that normal sodas like Coke use. In order to urge customers not to overuse soda in an unhealthy manner, an article by the Canadian Broadcasting Company announced that Coca-Cola will be putting their calories on the front of their soda cans in order to not hide their numbers, but really show customers what they're drinking, so it's their choice of whether or not to be healthy or unhealthy with their use with it. A common ingredient in Diet Coke is aspartame, which is charged with giving headaches and other neurological problems, including seizures and brain tumors. Also, saccharin has been banned ever since 1969, when they found that it could give cancer to lab rats, but has been brought back and is a very common ingredient for Diet Coke. Would you want to be drinking that? When I asked people what was more important in a soda, almost all of the people I asked chose the taste over the health benefits. What are the benefits of a regular tasting soda?
To me, the benefits are I like the taste. In the morning, it gives me a jolt or a pick-me-up because I don't rely on coffee or some other stimulant, and I think it's just cooler than diet drinks.
I love the taste of Coke.
In March, the company that sells vitamin water was slammed with lawsuits for their claims that their health drinks were healthier than sodas, when in fact it had more calories than the average soda. So those of you that think that health drinks such as vitamin water are more healthy than Coke, maybe you should think again. Dr. Pumpkin, a scientist at the University of North Carolina, said recently, "It is more a behavioral issue than a biological one. Some people use the non-nutritive sweeteners as a crutch. Others use them to help create a healthy diet." What he's saying is that some people who are uninformed say that they're using the artificial sweeteners for health reasons, but really it's quite sweeter than the regular sugar, so it's giving them more of a unhealthy, harmful jolt than a normal soda would. In a recent study of rats, Susan E. Swithers, a psychologist at Purdue University, compared the results when animals were given either caloric sweeteners or saccharin with the regular unrestricted diet. Those given saccharin gained more weight and more body fat because they overcompensated for the non-caloric sweetener. Dr. Swithers said in an interview, "A possible reason is that the failure of saccharin was to raise the animal's core temperature as much as the caloric sweetener does. The experience of the sweet taste no longer had the expected consequences," she said. "We don't know if humans react in the same way because no one has tested the idea in humans. However, it is widely known that saccharin is a non-healthy sweetener that is often used in diet sodas." And so we see that Diet Coke is really not that much healthier than regular Coke. So why not go for the better taste and more caffeine? Diet Coke uses artificial sweeteners which are often quite unhealthy compared to regular sugar because of the ingredients used in order to match the taste of a regular tasting Coke. So, if it was you, would you choose the regular Coke or Diet Coke?